apartment is the place to be. She uses all kinds of technology so she can be all that she can be. So come on and join us and you will see at Leah's apartment.
Come on in. This is about me.
When Leah was born, there were some issues, I guess, at birth. She just kind of didn't want to breathe, is the way it was kind of put to us, and so she was having trouble breathing, and so they rushed her out of the room and got her breathing right away. And there's no feedback from the medical staff that caused any problems or anything, but it certainly was that's the way she was introduced to this life, was barely able to get her breath. Initially, I don't think her mother or I had any sense that there were delays early on, but certainly all the kind of typical infant expectations of when you turn over and when you crawl and those sorts of things were all delayed. Once we realized or felt that there were delays, we tried to ask some questions, get some information. Is there something we should be doing? Is there some testing we should be doing? We did end up taking her to a neurologist fairly early on. And of course, working with MDs and so forth, we would always ask questions about, what do you think's going on, if anything? And we really were not given too much information to go on. Once we got up in the years of preschool, actually, speech was challenged. There was a delay in the process of, from thought to speech was fairly delayed, and incomplete sentences and difficulty to express herself in general. And the entire educational process was all full of challenge for me personally, and for us both as parents to try to sort through options available for her, to try to even get your questions answered, let alone knowing the right questions to ask. It was very difficult on top of her day-to-day activities, and to measure somehow whether she was making appropriate progress.
Doug and I started, when we started dating, I think Leah was about 16. I think we got off to be pretty good friends, and I was surprised soon after we got married the first time she called me mom, because to our knowledge nobody had ever prompted her to call me mom. And I said, well, are you okay calling me mom? And she said, yeah. I said, okay, well, as long as you don't forget your biological mom, but yeah, that I would be happy if she wanted to call me mom. I did always have a hard time understanding her. She would not speak in complete sentences, and it was easy once you get to know her to fill in the blanks and know what she's saying, but I would always have to question her. What did you say? I don't understand what you're saying.
It's difficult if you took that communication strictly verbally, it's difficult to tell what she needed. Now, as her father, I understood in almost every case exactly what she wanted to say. And one of the things that I look back on now and see was probably extremely counterproductive was not allow her to, complete the communication verbally. It took me a long time to kind of see that, but clearly it would have been nice if I was aware enough at that point in time to allow her to work on her verbal skills at home.
When I first came in the relationship, I told Doug that I was not going to treat her any differently than I treat any other child. And whether that was a good thing or a bad thing is yet to be determined, but I expected the same things out of her as I expected out of my children. One specific instance, I remember I told her it was time for her to pick up her room, and I had been vacuuming the house and let the vacuum out, and it's the first time I'd ever seen her use a vacuum without any instruction. stick the vacuum in her room and vacuum to her carpet, and I was pretty blown away with that because I didn't realize that that was something that she even knew how to do. Anybody had ever asked her to do that before. So right away it's like, okay, this one's capable of doing a lot more than what we're seeing her do. We just got to figure out how to get that out of her consistently.
Leah's apartment.